to say, hey, we'll get behind whatever it is we, come up with.
Scotty, good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
Did I get back to you on the beans?
No.
Okay.
But if you do, I can help you with that.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I just remembered that.
Yeah. I need to get with Roger, actually.
Drunk?
Roger Doctor, yeah. Is he back?
Yeah.
Well, all right, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone. Hey, good job, Scott.
All the cool people here.
All the cool kids are here.
Just keep telling yourself that, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Me there. On there.
No, we're not voting on that.
I think I'll abstain. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Here.
Commissioner Creech?
Here.
Commissioner Day?
Here. Would you all rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer by Scott Robertson of the Covenant of Peace and Restoration.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity to open up this day with prayer. We give you thanks, Lord, that we have the opportunity to be here. Father, the decisions that are going to be made in this chamber and in the different offices in this building, Father, we just pray for supernatural wisdom and understanding in every situation they have to deal with, that they have guidance and understanding. Father, that this county will be recognized as there's something different, something good happening in this county. Father, as our farmers are getting ready to plant, Father, we just pray that all their equipment operates as it's supposed to, that the weather be conducive to get seed into the ground, and that seed would produce a supernatural yield. We give you thanks for our businesses, for all those that are leading them, give them wisdom and understanding and how to guide them into the future. We thank you for all things, Lord. We give you thanks. And in all things, we'll give you the praise and the glory and the honor. In your precious name we pray.
Amen.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time, throw the price in there, too, man. We need a good price. See you, bro.
All right. On the agenda today, we have public comments, approval of minutes, approval of vouchers, financial considerations, correspondence reports, agreements and contracts, travel requests, and meetings at 9:15 with Scott Young, NIC Building and Fee Schedule. Connie, do you have any additional items at this time?
Not this time.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move to note receipt and approve by signing the journalization and note receipt of the CD recordation, both as the official minutes for the March 1st, 2017 regular session meeting.
I'll second that.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Entertain a motion to note receipt of the vouchers.
Move to note receipt of and consider approval by signing the vouchers as submitted by the county auditor.
Second.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Financial considerations. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 193, reference moral obligation, various departments.
Move to approve Resolution 193.
Second that.
Discussion. Building maintenance, City of Eaton, $273.81. Building maintenance, Carter Cleaning, $860.90. Job and Family Services, City of Eaton, $123.44. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 194, reference authorized payments, various departments.
Move to approve resolution 194.
Second.
Job and Family Service, Council on Aging, Council on Aging, $7,797. Universal Transportation, $11,127.49. Sheriff, Buckeye Power Sales, $1,260.40. FCFC, Treasurer, the State of Ohio, $3,033. And Veteran Services, Community Action Partnership, $6,170. Further discussion? Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 200, reference authorized expenditure of $123,921, 2017 Caterpillar D5 K2 XL track loader landfill.
Move to approve Resolution 200.
Second.
Discussion? Be nice if we could get it for $1,200, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah. That's a service call.
Yeah.
That's delivery. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 201, reference transfer of funds, JFS.
Move to approve Resolution 201.
Second.
Job and Family Service transfers a debit of $5,167.92. Human Services Bond Retirement Transfer credit of $5,167.92. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Correspondence and reports. Entertain a motion to note receipt of a letter received from the sheriff, reference probationary rate adjustment, Jared Rivers, Sheriff.
Move to note receipt of the letter from the sheriff.
Second.
On March 1st, 2017, Corrections Officer Jared Rivers has successfully completed his probation. As stated in the agreement between the Preble County Sheriff's Office and the Fraternal Order of Police of Ohio, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated, Corrections Officer Jared Rivers will go from making $14.84 an hour to $15.42 an hour. Further discussion? Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Entertain a motion to note receipt of a petition and court entry from the Preble County Common Pleas. Reference employment of outside legal counsel for Auditor Levon Wright and Board of Revisions.
Move to note receipt of the petition and court entry from Preble County Common Pleas.
Second.
Discussion. And this is to do the Board of Revision reviews.
Right.
Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Get that light
Commissioner
fixed.
Day?
Yes. That's why it looks different.
I can actually see in the corner now.
Agreements and contracts. Entertain a motion to receive, consider approval by signing an amendment, reference amendment to the 4D contract with Mary Dittmer Nelson Corrections of terms CSEA.
Move to note receipt and approve by signing the amendment.
Second.
Discussion.
What was the correction?
Well, I got,
Read it all.
it looks like there's 3 things highlighted. Do you know what these meant, Connie?
Read the highlight.
One is contract is $36.79 per unit. Another one is total 4D contract is $57,397.50. And then at the bottom it's got total 4D contract cost of $58,100.50.
See, we didn't have our 4D, not 4D, but we didn't have our report back from Maximus.
Oh,
That would
okay.
show the unit cost, so this is correcting what they had in place.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Further discussion? Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Renee?
Yes. Entertain a motion to note receipt and consider approval of 4 agreements, reference consulting agreements for load rating project with ME IBI Group. $14,400. Coley and Colera Associates, $9,000. LJB Incorporated, $8,148, and Smolin Engineering Ltd., $16,875 engineer.
Move to note receipt and consider approval of the 4 agreements.
Second.
Discussion. I'm assuming these are all agreements for Kyle for the bridge work.
Correct.
Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Looks like it's about 1/4 after. We have
Scott Young.
Scott Young in. I had one more agreement. I guess I could have done that.
Yes.
Scott Young with NIC in. Discuss our current fee schedule.
Yeah, it was a little spring yesterday. Today doesn't even come back.
And then, Chris, I just laid a copy of what Brad had suggested, and then along with what you had sent me on commercial business and single-family house for different counties. You know, unless something's changed, you know, I know we haven't talked for a couple months.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Just want to make sure. And Brad should be coming down.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He knows to come down at 9:15.
We'll wait on him.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait on Brad. I'll share with you what he gave you last year. This is just a number of permits over the years. So, looks like we're doing about the same. Off just a little bit. 15. This is 2016. Yes, this is 2016 is through the end of the year. So you can see the numbers there for the commercial and residential permits. And we have the single family residence. And currently this year, I just checked, we're doing about the same as we did last year. So we're within 8 permits of the same. We are. Same numbers. Yeah. Well, compared to other areas, doing about the same. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to bring to light before we get into the fee schedule?
groundlings, resident was building a barn, he wanted to do a footing foundation first before he could get a drawing. And we said, well, that would require another permit. So you can't just do a footing foundation and do a revision to it. You know, so it's another permit. So he was kind of upset which we told him, which we told him in the front of it that it would require an actual permit, because theoretically you just do submit for a footing foundation and do a revision, but you're not getting charged the whole fee. It's cheaper to do a footing foundation permit, right? But then you also have the other building permit on top of that. It is running about that.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that you're starting from scratch. It's not like you have a modification of what you're reviewing. You're starting something completely different, and that's different than. So we have a provision for new plans, and we have a provision for revisions to that plan. So when you submit two sets of plans, there's, even in the owner's mind, he's revising, he's amending things, but what Scott's getting is something completely new.
Those are going backwards.
Those don't happen very often, but it is the case, and they were told from the very beginning. I think Cindy mentioned it when I came in. I'm not sure, were you talking about this other one that you just... That's a lot later, right? A lot later.
He's just calling me, Brad. I thought it was Jason.
Oh, okay. He didn't call me.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about with the barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave your number last week.
Okay, and I just want to hear how Scott's come along with Wallace Heating and Air, I guess. This is one, and I brought in, this is one where the application, we've run into this a couple times, and it's probably the fault of our application, but somebody's project area is much smaller than the square footage they put down on the application. And we need to clarify that on the application so that we know if you got a 16,000 square foot building and you're just working on a little corner of it, you're not getting charged 6 cents or whatever, what is it, $9.50 plus 100 for every 100 additional 100 square feet or whatever, We want to make sure we're charging them for their work area. And not for the part of the building they're not working on.
The affected work area, not the whole building. So, yeah, that comes out, and we'll make those changes.
So would we make it right then on that?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Scott's handling that one directly, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
I don't think he was getting the feedback.
Well, you might want to hear that, Scott. He said he was frustrated at first. It sounded like he was getting resistance from your staff, and he said they turned the tide and they became helpful. So we're all that way. I'm willing to give him the benefit of a rough day, but that's just something we need to always remind our employees.
What was his last name?
This is Wallace Heating and Air. I don't remember the particular application. Yeah, it's all from Wallace. What the application or the applicant's name was, I'm not sure. The same thing I think with maybe plumbing, the same thing.
So he was doing HVAC work with that one?
It's a modification of an existing structure, commercial structure.
So then he put down the square footage for the entire building, the fee would be higher. He's like, well, I'm not doing the whole building, I'm just the
So when it runs through the clerical process, there's our square footage, boom, here's our fees, and they're going, oh my gosh.
Typically, we go off the application,
Yeah.
and this happens a couple times a week. You put down the wrong square footage, well, I'm not doing all that, so it's just a misunderstanding.
And we had a similar one in Camden where I think there were 2 or 3 floors of the building, and they were working on one, and the same question came up. I think Scott's handling that.
Brad, did you get a lot of complaints on it?
No, I don't. And I will say I get as equal compliments as I do complaints. So it's funny, sometimes, and I've been very, I'm interested in hearing, I want people to talk to me and let me know how their experience is. And I would say even to the point where it's contradictory. Some people say NIC just gets way too much involved in the plans, too in-depth. And then another person will say, it seems like they go out there and they're not inspecting much. So, what is it? So I feel like we would have the same types of complaints if we had a Fred Bendel or a Bob Worley doing it. So,
On the square footage for remodels, or any way you can better work that so that you can understand it?
I think we can improve the application. Correct. And then we can also improve the way we take the applications. Cindy up front needs to, there's always going to be a chance for miscommunication, but we just need to try better with our application.
It just needs to be in writing, because what they do on the paper is what you get to do. And you don't want Cindy getting in the middle of that, because then that just complicates things.
No, the point is if I take an application or Cindy takes an application, is to make sure you're putting down your project area instead of the whole building. And
If you said that on the application.
that might help. Yeah, that might really help. So
I've thought about affecting the construction area. If anybody has any suggestions, I'm open, but
Right.
Yeah, that's just trying to clarify so they can understand. But it's still up to the person who's putting those numbers down, and if they misunderstand that, so be it, but they also have to work in the process to correct it.
And there's no way to avoid miscommunication once in a while. Sometimes you feel like you've explained something very clearly to the same person over and over.
To clarify, that would be good to have a total area and then area affected. That way they put the size of the building again, the size of, that way.
Well, it could.
5,000 square feet, but we're only working on that. That way they.
Yeah. That might, because I tell you what, then, because if you're doing an entire building of 5,000 square feet, I don't want to lead people into saying, we're only working on, they'll start getting
Well, you're gonna have that when you go.
creative with their,
right. We check it because every home that's ever built, they don't include everything in the spec. So, like the porch, the garage, they won't include the basement because it's unfinished. It's all part of the construction. So we review those, and also the auditor.
right.
Yeah, I think if it's two distinct numbers.
I don't know, it's something to work, and you're always going to have that, because some people are going to fill out an application there.
And there's always instances you didn't think of. Well, the building, it's got extended for blocks, just sometimes, unusual circumstances.
Okay, anything else? What you going to look through that? All right, we're here to primarily discuss the fee schedule. I know we've looked at this, and we've got a copy with red marks all over it, lines through it. And I guess the biggest thing that is there, I guess I'm going to ask you, Scott, is there a simpler way of doing this that makes it easier that you've dealt with, or are all being somewhat complicated to a certain degree?
Well, what do you refer to exactly?
All the different fees and all the different moving parts.
It's better to have everything listed out as much covered as much as possible. There's no question about a lot of fees.
So you're saying the simpler the more simplicity you try to make it, the more complicated it becomes trying to filter out what people want.
The more open the interpretation we're going to get away from. So if you're doing a project, you're going to what fee is that project specifically? What is it? So if you look at what we currently have, it's kind of outdated and antiquated and not very clear. So.
And I think that was the point of this starting out, to kind of clarify what goes into what area and try to spell things out.
Right. So, this format that this is what we try to standardize that I bring it up, so that way that would be something that would be on the website or wherever. But
Let me see what you have in your hand.
it's
What do
the
you have? Is it this?
yes,
Okay, it's what you passed out?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking at that.
That type of format is easier to read than what we have in this.
I just have this here, here, Rodney, can you hand that to Chris?
Yeah, like that. Easier on the eye.
Yeah, it sure is.
What this is this is a sort of a proposed change to our current fee structure, and it's providing it in our current format. It would be nice to have this settled and then to change it to the new format.
Right, and that's how we would do it.
Mhm.
Once, yes.
That's the whole goal here, isn't it?
We would pass this.
Right.
And then we would adopt this and attach this to this as per form.
That's, yeah, we would pass it by, we would adopt it, resolution form, and then that's the handout we would give to everyone, right there that you have in your hands.
Based on these fees.
Correct.
So this basically makes it a lot simpler just for,
We believe so.
and then would you, for your office, would you put another column out here where you check box where this is what goes on this application, and is that how you use this one?
No, we don't. That's just,
That's just, you're looking at the rates.
you just look at the rate sheet. We don't hand out the fee schedule.
It would be posted online, it would be posted in our office, and of course in Scott's office too.
Okay. So, and this is what you use.
Yes. We recommend that format, of course.
So this, it's a lot easier to look at in the eye.
Sure.
I'll give you
Yes.
that.
Sure is.
Yes.
I even had trouble when I was going, of course, it's all, once you get the red ink out of here, it'll be easier, but it's very, okay. So is this just a sample, or is this?
This is the sample. We would need to adjust the figures.
Now, with that being said, you give us these, I'm assuming these are comparable permits based upon the counties, and it looks like 2,000 square foot commercial business.
Yes, I've done commercial and then residential. And if you go across the top, right, the counties that I sampled, and then that would be the dates of their effective fees. So Miami-Dade County, they just changed their commercial fee last year. Butler's in 2013, Clinton's 2005. Montgomery County is a 2006 fee schedule. But their June, they'll have another fee schedule. So they just increased their fees after 11 years. So they're going to come out with that.
And what is the state of Ohio?
That would be the state of Ohio, what the state would charge.
So if you look at.
If the state of Ohio is doing your building department.
And that happens occasionally? Okay.
Yes, that's what they charge us.
You know that.
So we changed our fees in 2013? That's the latest?
Yes.
fee schedule.
I think we did ours in 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
Was it 2011?
Yeah.
Well, there might have been some revisions, and that might be where that date came from.
So if you look down at the bottom,
Right, there is some.
it is,
Here, this is the,
the program have changes that are.
So,
Yes.
So if you basically look at Miami-Dade in the state of Ohio and Butler in Ohio and line on that. If you look at Clinton, Montgomery, they have not benefited for some years. And if we go back to the single family house, you've done the same thing.
Yes.
you see, this is where this is hence.
Oh, okay.
But that's what's concerning me. it says 13 and 10, so I don't know what to do with 13. So maybe there should be another resolution modifying it.
Yeah, we had it when we were working.
Yeah. Right. That's right. At least that's right.
Well,
And 13, there's 13.
2013, right?
It's before the end of the year on that.
Was it, do you remember what we changed?
Well, double.
Oh,
Double, yeah.
Oh.
Permits. Yes. September, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What's the date on that, Brad?
September 23rd of 13.
23rd of 13. Thank you.
I'm looking at Miami Village,
Yes.
and I'm looking at the single family house. They're at 420, so we're at 975.
Yes.
Why is it?
It's legislative decision. Typically most counties and towns, they don't want to pass on any fees to their residents, their constituents, so they kind of make up for it in their commercial fees.
So I'm assuming where you've got the electric, you've got the formula, you come up with something comparable to what you would see in there.
Right, it's kind of hard because everybody has a different fee, like their electric, it's $110 plus $1 per circuit. So, don't know how many circuits they have in their house, but they could have 50 or 4.
It's like fixes on the HVAC.
Yes.
And I
did specify that. They all have different nuances in how they use. So yeah, they commercially, Dark Miami was the same as we were, and last year during this process they increased their commercial fees.
So on this residential, this is based on using 9 cents per square foot as
Yes.
opposed to 6. That would be the big change.
Correct.
Okay.
So it was 6 cents to 9.
we kicked out there initially was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that was
Just a starting point
Right.
for discussion. If you think of 6 cents versus 9 cents, that's 9 cents is 3 more cents, which is 50% increase. And I just noticed that for just purpose of discussion, whether it means anything, that would be a 54% increase in the residential fees since 2013. That's just a statistic to think about. As we look at the commercial fees, we're talking 90% increase in the last 4 years. So, is it fair? Probably is. I can tell you from my experience in the consulting world is you never seem to get the fees that it really takes you to do this type of stuff well. So, as commissioners, we're kind of, or, the public, representing the public, we're kind of caught between what's it really take to get the job done and how much can we feel justified raising our fees. And that's why we started with this sort of 15 cents, just to take a look at it and see where we...
But will we ever, we won't ever recoup the cost of that office. I don't think we could raise the fee high enough to actually cover.
I think you're probably right.
No, we won't ever.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so, right, so it's not self-sustaining. what you're saying, right?
It's kind of hard to come out on Monday morning.
Yeah. I had my coffee.
But even right now, if you look at where we're at, other than North Miami,
Yeah, that's the other way to look at it. Forget the percentage, but just look where you are. And I think that was the goal of seeing these comparisons.
I think North Miami, not well, but Miami's probably got some residential going on.
They do.
Quite a bit of time.
More so than Darkwood, yeah.
But I think both of them have a lot more commercial going on than we do think about.
They do. Dark Miami, they cover 4 counties. The Honda plants up there has created a lot of residential and commercial work.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right, and there's a lot of business along the I-75 corridor for Miami County that's outside the city of Troy or city of Pickwood. So there's a lot going on there. We don't have as much in Preble County.
Any thoughts, directions?
I was just, when we started this, I was just looking at you to clarify what's going on here. I didn't envision actually raising fees and seeing this, especially on the commercial side, we're right in there with the ones that have raised their fees recently. And I've actually had people complain, come to me and say, dang, your fees are high, let's do something. Sorry. So, I thought we were just gonna clarify, I didn't realize we were gonna raise fees, so.
Back to this first red line, this left-hand column is adding clarification language for me and Cindy. That's why those red marks are in there to help us understand. And maybe for Scott, I don't know, but I think those are things that just help me understand what instances apply.
No, but then there are things that, I don't know if it was just clarification, or continue, like the retaining wall, potentially the solar and wind turbine. Were they in here somewhere that you used to, or we are?
Some of them it left us dangling as what category to put something in. Others, we saw it was simpler to combine. For example, we had breezeway, porches, and decks all separate,
Right.
but they were the same fee.
Right.
So why not just put that under one line instead of 3 different lines?
Right.
We had a temporary pole inspection down under accessory charges instead of up in electrical fees. That makes it hard to read. The first thing you think is we don't have a spot for temporary pole, and then you find it down in accessory. So the readability, I think we're trying to understand the readability and a few of the what ifs. What if they? I think one of the big ones we talked about was the agricultural release for electrical or gas hookup. They have to still make an inspection, albeit limited inspection, to the service connection, right? But they don't have to inspect the entire structure. And so we didn't have a provision for that, so right now we're only charging them $150 special inspection fee. That's all we have. It's not residential, so it's $150 special inspection fee. So we're proposing to have that agricultural release for electrical or gas. I think it's going to be the same whether it's one of those sways under residential or commercial, and we're going to put it in both locations.
And that makes sense.
And then say $70. So that would be, just to start with, that would be one I think we want to address right now. If we're not talking about fee changes, we certainly want to make sure that one's clarified.
as this reinspection, to clarify that, if you were to come out and inspect and say, okay, you need to fix this, I have to come back after you're done with that. When you come back, at what point do you charge the reinspection fee? At the point you come back, or if you come back and they haven't done what you told them to do, I would think the fee would be applicable. But if you find something new, then
It's the third and subsequent. So,
okay.
So after we told them, after they missed something, we come back and we still miss it,
Right.
and then the next time is like
Okay, so that seems right to me, but not if you find something new. So if you found something new on the second visit, you say, okay, well, we need to fix that now, and then so that starts talking again. Okay.
And just for clarity for me, Scott, the first inspection is the first inspection, right? So we're not talking about the third re-inspection, we're talking about the third and subsequent inspection.
Correct.
So we give them one re-inspection.
Right, here's your list of things I need to say.
You have your initial inspection, and if it's not there, we come back at no charge. The second visit. When we get to the third, we're proposing $70 for that trip.
So what is the special inspection? What did we say that was? Because it used to be, I know that the ag thing was under there.
Once in a while, you have to have something like that, because once in a while, you can't figure out how to classify something. They're up to something that you just can't make a list for everything, or you end up with a list 16 pages long.
Okay.
So maybe I'm wrong, Scott, but I think that's one of the reasons we have special inspections, right?
A special inspection of anything outside of the normal operating procedure. So they must have come in Sunday morning and do an alarm inspection
That's
on
a
the
good point
building.
in time.
That would be a special
Oh, okay,
inspection.
I see. Well, because I'm thinking, I can't wrap my brain around something that would be a special inspection. What on earth could they be doing that's outside the realm of,
There's always something outside the realm of norm, and then the timing is also
Typically outside of normal business. Through the week, Monday through Friday, we do 3 a.m. inspections all the time, but we just compensate for that. If it's on the weekends, then that would be a special.
well, but then that's where you got your normal hours.
I don't know if it's a simple question because of contractors and electric companies and every time they switch over to things. But for the most part, residential, other than the per square footage going up, the fees are relatively small on that increase.
Yeah, this is relocating it. And this is a special, this is an inspection. We don't issue a permit, it's just a release. So actually 1, possibly 2 inspections, and then we have to do the paperwork to give them the release. For the provider is.
Now, there's 2 aspects to each of these proposed fee increases to look at. There's the base fee, for example, at the very top, $45 to $50, and then there's the per square foot fee. So nobody likes to pay more, but we do need to. Over the years, we have to continue to keep pace with increases are just part of nature, I guess, in the economy. So, there's 2 aspects of it, I think, that you want to look at with these fees. For example, you could say, moving from 45 to 50 is fine, but instead of going up to 9 cents per square foot, maybe it should be 7, or maybe it should be 10,
Which, and I guess I would be more comfortable with an either or in that situation also. So if you want to go up to $50, maybe that's 6 cents, or stay at 45 and move to 9.
Our last conversation, we were moving it from 15 to 9.
Right.
But we were also increasing it from 50.
Yeah, you really want to think that your base is 6 cents, because that's what it currently is. So, look at the left-hand column is what our current fees are.
The 2,000 square foot house is at 3% increase in 60. So you're $65 total increase for that.
If we go to 9 cents per square foot, okay.
If you said put $5 in the 9, the extra 3 cents on there. That's $65 increase. Anyone else have any questions on the resolution? Marshall? I guess maybe you guys can help me out here and explain this. What I've heard was some of the commercial stuff where somebody's doing a small addition, a porch, carport, something like that. The fees are almost as much as getting the project itself. On a small scale project that is very basic, not a whole lot of complications in it. And one that comes to mind is, and I don't even know what the opera house were, but we American Legions put a porch on the side of the building, and the fees and such, they were grumbling about that. I mean, I'm sure they're all justifiable, but once again, it's a small project, and help me understand that.
Well, it's based on the square footage, right? So they have their base fee plus the square footage of it. So their base fee was, what, $250, and the square footage of this probably...
Square footage in that case wouldn't amount to much, but, in a $1,000 project, you had a $250 fee. That's what we're seeing. Now suddenly we have a base fee, a fourth as much as the project.
That's right.
I think that's true.
Their materials were probably $1,500, and they had somebody that was a member who project. So you look at it on that, and it's like, well, yeah.
But I hear that on a lot of, especially service organizations and stuff like that.
And that's exactly, you have volunteer help, you get materials donated, so your fees could be more than the total cost.
So that wouldn't be considered a minor alteration instead?
It could have been, yeah.
I mean, a porch to be,
That would be a minor alteration.
I don't know how it was submitted. I'm just trying to understand this because I've heard this, and then typically, like I said, it's service organizations trying to do a project, and they end up saying that the permit was almost as much as by the time they got the project done. And I understand we have to cover that, but I also understand we don't want to discourage. These are typically the same people that are giving back to our community.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, we don't want to discourage, and we also don't want to encourage them to be dishonest. Because if your fees start getting too high, people start kind of cutting corners and trying to be, do things, outside our line.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to badge them.
Right.
I guess in saying that, are these type of businesses handled any different than anywhere else, or? I think it's the same.
Then that would not have been a minor alteration because it was an addition. With a roof, they added a roof over a porch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is that an addition or an alteration?
Yeah, that's the
Altering the
question.
building, but then they're adding
Something like
the structure, yeah.
Yes.
A minor alteration is you're configuring something inside, you're not doing an addition, but
I was just trying to get it clear in my mind, so when I explained it,
Yeah. I need it.
I got a group of angry Indians out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it. both sides of it. And like I said, Denise said, you don't want to discourage them from being honest, because these are the people out here that's raising money, donating back to our communities and stuff. I just didn't know if they handled that in any different way, and you're telling me no one does.
Anytime you have fees, even when they're professional fees or whatever, as you scale that project down, then the percentage of the fee amount becomes much larger. I mean, there's no way to avoid that. That doesn't satisfy the guy that thinks he's got a $1,000 project, though.
I get it, trust me. I'm asking questions because when I'm sitting in a room full of guys and they're beating the drums and most of them, they're complaining, but it's in fun for the most part. But when you start looking at the project, and I was curious if anybody had done anything any differently.
It's typically on the based on square footage, so the smaller square footage, the smaller permit fee.
Well, here's what I told them. I said, well, I applaud everybody for donating their time, and we've got more than, this establishment I'm talking about, they have more than competent carpenters, electricians, whatever they're doing.
That's all they need, yeah.
But if something happens, they've got that sand portion, the sand off on, which relieves them of responsibility.
Right, and we have more liability than just the county, because we get sued all the time. It costs us money as a business, where they'll leave the county or the municipality out of the lawsuit, but then they'll go after us separately. And we're supposed to be enjoined, but it doesn't always happen that way.
I just wanted to ask the question, put it on the record, because, I know the signs are the other ones too.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't
stick a sign up, I've got a $250 sign, it cost me $300 to put it in the ground.
Right. Yeah.
If we could eliminate sign permits, it wouldn't bother me at all.
But,
And no art.
but there again, they're one of your biggest liabilities if they put in correctly, because I was coming down 75 yesterday, and with the high winds up there, there's temporary signs, people stuck up playing all over the place, so there's some high winds.
And in a high wind event, then you understand why there's permits for signs, because they become projectiles.
Matter of fact, I saw it. There was the woods out in the middle of nowhere, up around Lyman. I mean, there wasn't a house within 2 miles. One of these portable garages. It wasn't plastered into the woods. It had to come from miles away. And it was embedded into the woods. And that's why. No, I understand, but I just, for the record, wanted to know if anybody else handled anything differently, because we get that a lot.
I mean, it could be legislatively, addressed by alleviating the fees for organizations. That's up to the commissioners, which sometimes, that's happened. We still get paid.
And then just where do we have it all that way?
Yeah, if you have a good cause, then you certainly support that cause.
So, on the commercial side of the certificate of occupancy and temporary certificate of occupancy has doubled or tripled. What's the justification in that?
It's like $100 or $150.
Right. Why does it cost us as much now to do a certificate of occupancy?
On the certificate of occupancy, I get a lot of these requests for existing buildings. So they need a certificate for if they're selling their building, or an agency is moving to a new building. So that would entail, reviewing the plans, and then going to do an inspection with the local fire department. So you're doing that for $50. It doesn't really cover any costs that we have. So there is, one inspection, possibly 2 inspections.
Sometimes it should be an occupancy, take on that inspection.
Yes.
On an older building.
On an older building.
Somebody's going in. It may sound businesses we have flow in our area quite a bit, and somebody that doesn't sound like a lot, but they want to go in and make, turn it from a bake store into a bakery, you know, it takes quite a bit for you guys to make sure everything's safe.
So, okay, so we're going from paying nothing on the residential side, you know, to $50 to $100. So why the difference in certificate of occupancy versus temporary certificate of occupancy? With 150, 100. And that's, is it 30 days, so you can get them issues in a
30-day C of O.
Why the cost difference?
You mean between
Between this residential certificate of occupancy and temporary certificate of occupancy, 150, 100. Why not just make it over?
Is that accurate that we didn't have a C of O charge, or we currently do not for residential?
That's what I was thinking, we don't currently have one.
That's not here.
What's happening? Oh, yeah, 7 days, that is minutes.
Right. You're correct.
And I just wondered why the difference, why the different price?
Residential is the certificate of occupancy is 50, and on this page,
It doesn't exist.
I think she wants to know why it costs more for the temporary.
No, why?
Yeah, but I was kind of backing up a step and saying, I just want to make sure we didn't have one, or we don't currently have one.
Yeah, I don't,
Well, I'm assuming because it's red, we do not.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, up in the middle under, it's sort of the very center of the first page, we have C of O, under HVAC and all that. And it says, NA, so we were proposing $50, so that's why it's back there.
So you just moved it.
Moved it to the rest of the administrative fees.
Except for the fact we had none before. And my question, like him, I just want to know why 150 and 100?
Yeah, 100 for
one
residential.
commercial and residential.
150.
No, they're both residential.
The proposed is that we proposed $50 for, let's go to page 2 here. We proposed $50 for the C of O, and then for the temporary, we proposed $100.
I know. Residential.
And so even that same question with commercial, we proposed $100 for a C of O, $150. Why is a temporary more costly?
Right, I
I
understand.
don't have an answer to that.
And maybe I typed something in wrong, maybe that came, that's when you scratched on that one list you gave me originally. So do we need to propose something differently for each of these?
The difference in fees commercially is the certification of the
I
inspector
understand the
required of
difference.
the commercial inspector.
Right, I understand the difference between residential and commercial. It's just that within those.
Yeah, I think
those
they
things that
should.
one would cost more than the other.
It shouldn't be.
So are you suggesting $50 on a residential?
Yes.
For a new proposed fee?
And the temporary.
For the temporary.
Proposed.
And then if we go to commercial, then $100 for each. Okay, back to residential for the commissioners and for Scott. On the second page, one of the largest changes that I noticed in here, when we have plan review for the second and subsequent review, or revisions to approved plans. So it's on the second page under administrative fees, sort of in the lower half. And currently, we're charging a $45 flat fee for the second or subsequent plan review. Revisions to approved plans. Really, the difference is are these revisions that are being found by the plan reviewers, or are these changes suddenly the applicant says, I changed my mind, I want you to, I have a new idea here, and so here are some new plans to review, or some revisions to the plans. So they're essentially the same thing, except for one is something found by NIC, the other one is the change made by the applicant. Okay, so currently we have $45 as a flat fee.
For a second, and so where do you see 45 at?
Well, I have in black, I have written NA. So let me just show you, because this was the discussion we had back in October. And I didn't put it down properly.
Is that what the last resolution says, was 45?
It must. That's what the charge is. So it must say 45. You want me to look up 2013?
Well, I'll look it up when
okay.
Yeah. But you
So
say it should be...
It's a $45 flat fee
Uh-huh.
for each of those right now. Does that seem right, Scott? Yeah. That's what I think I got that from you last June. So again,
Oh, instead of NA, it should be
instead of NA, it's $45 is our current,
Okay.
and instead of the $50 below that, it's a $45 flat fee. I believe that's a clarification made at the last meeting. Yeah, each of those would be $45 flat fee.
So,
And
then
the
the
proposal-
cost of the square footage?
Yes.
Say that again, Kim?
It says, then the hourly review fee plus square footage.
If they're increasing the square footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs to be clarified.
But the $60 an hour is a constant. It's 45 to apply to for the second review plus however much it takes you guys to review it. At $60 an hour.
If they're increasing the area.
Only if they're increasing it.
Right. It's not the square footage of what they revised.
So in both cases then, they would be, so under plan review second and subsequent, we would also change it to say plus plan review at $60 per hour, correct? So it would be a 45, these would be both the same.
Yeah. What did you write there?
I want to see what our suggestion is, where we're heading. I may not have written things down clearly.
Yes,
So,
increase the area, that's why it's
so there's a $45 flat fee plus the plan review time at $60 per hour. And plus the additional square footage, and I want to clarify in my mind what that means. Plus the additional square footage, is that
Any
90/50?
If they submitted drawings for 1,000 square foot, it's like, we wanted to add another 200 square foot.
Then we go back to that 6 cents a square foot, or whatever it is.
Right, plus the hourly.
Yeah. Oh, well, in commercial, it's not 6 cents a square foot. What it is, I mean, what is it, I guess? I was thinking it was $9.50 or something. Oh, is it 12? Okay. Where do you see the 12 cents? I just want to make sure that was
Very first.
Oh, that was the suggestion. That was the suggestion. Right now, if you look in the black, we're at $9, we had $9.50 per each additional 100 square feet. And so the suggestion was to just scratch that and go to 12 cents per square foot. So back to where we were, whether it's 12 cents or whether it's $9.50 plus 100 per, which there is an additional to look at under plan second and subsequent plan revisions or revisions by the owner.
So for these parcel permit fees, we're exchanging these plus $3.50 per 100 square foot for plus 5 cents per square foot in the area. Is that what?
Yeah, if it's in red, it's the suggested
Right,
change.
but not instead of that.
Instead of the, yes,
Instead
yeah.
of that.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That should be scratched out. So that makes it, so is that where we came up with it, is that it would be $2 per 100 square foot? It would go from $150 to $2.
Yeah, where are you at? Denise?
I'm in the middle page of the first page is the commercial in the middle. This is where it says partial permit fee. Because we're replacing the price of the first one, the footer foundation, we're replacing plus $3.50 per 100 square foot of floor area with plus 5 cents per square foot of floor area, which would make it go from $3.50 to $5.
Yeah, essentially, we're saying the same thing two different ways. So it would be 3.5 cents per square foot of floor area, and we're proposing 5 cents per square foot.
I just wanted to clarify, because I didn't want it to be that on top of that.
What's the tenant build out? What does that term mean? Build out. Right where you were, you're right in the middle.
Oh, I see.
You get a lot of what we call white boxes of the shell, right? We're just doing the shell. We don't have a tenant yet. Oh, we're just doing the slab. So like the strip mall or something.
Like a strip mall, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tenant build out would be.
Whoever they get, it's got to finish.
Drop ceiling.
See
Whatever counter space there's needed.
Put a subway in there, and you've got
Dollar General.
No more.
Okay. Any other areas of concern or questions, I guess?
Maybe on your penalty fees for people who start without work. We've got two different things mentioned in.
Where are we?
We gotta figure out.
Of
Of the residential?
Yeah, it's either, this says double permit fee under commercial on the last page, but we have anyone failing to obtain the necessary permits will be charged twice the permit fee plus the original fee.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So are we making it a triple fee, which is evidently how it's currently set up, or are you gonna bump it back down and just make it double? I mean,
What we're doing is we're just doubling it. And I think that was the intent, is to say you're getting charged twice. So you can scratch the line in parentheses plus the original fee.
or maybe that was, should have just done a period there, and that was the clarification.
Will be charged twice the permit fee, period. Is that how it doubled? You want to say double instead of twice? The twice, that almost means 2 times in 2 periods of time. So we'll be charged double their permit fee. I like that. And then period. What do we clarify that the 3% is 1% of the city. The note on the order will say Ohio Board of Building Standards fee, 1% of above fees, period. Cross out the word state, cross out the words subtotal. Right below. Yeah, right here. Mm-hmm.
Ohio Board of Building Standards for the 3% above fees.
1% is residential charge, and 3% is commercial.
So it should be 1%. Ohio Board of Building Standards. So in all of this, we can calculate fees, and then there's a Ohio Board of Builders, 1% on top of that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, and 3% commercial. The Ohio Board of Building Standards.
Yeah.
You must be able to familiar with that. It's supposed to be for training and regulating building departments.
So that's the same comment below at the very end of commercial, except the 3% is correct. We're going to continue that note that says, remove the word state, say Ohio Board of Building Standards fee, 3% of all fees, period.
Mhm.
And remove the word subtotal. This word's name.
Any additional questions? Any other questions or comments?
What I would expect we would see the next time is to have this with the changes made.
Right.
And maybe a first shot at the new format, possibly, so we can all sit down and sort of proofread or double check that it's what we intended, right?
Well, this one.
Certainly this
Yeah.
one, certainly this one.
Because that other one's.
You want to wait till the end?
That other one's gonna be easy to do.
Okay,
After we get this one worked out and then ready to go for public hearings.
Get this to where, what are you going to have, just all in black then, or actually leave it with the markup so you can see the
Have it in
change?
red.
Okay, but you'll get things shifted and in the right order and all that.
And then, Brad, I might just send it down to you, because you said Cindy had some input, and maybe she wants to look this over, so then we can discuss what you think Cindy has some.
Yeah, exactly. Cindy and Scott are the ones that deal with this all the time, and they're the ones that are going to have the eye for the what-ifs.
Okay.
And
maybe she can write her notes or whatever down, her
Okay.
concerns
Okay.
on the next one.
Yes.
And then we can meet again, and hopefully then we can charge
Okay.
forward.
So the next step then is to get this into the format we want to present for the change, correct?
Right.
And then also for the commissioners to decide item by item.
Right.
Whether there's going to be fee increases.
Right. The other form, that's what you're going to get out to the public that's going to reflect this. It's not going to ever look like this.
It'll never look, we can post this on our wall from now on,
Right.
so that'll be so much easier for all of us.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
And I'll probably send it after I get this changed, Brad. I'm going to send it to you to make sure I captured everything.
Yeah, that's easy enough to cross-eyed and all this.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Send it to you and Kim and make sure I've captured everything.
So this board, if you look at the 45s, are you happy with the 50? 45 to 50. Those types of things, $100, $125, are you satisfied with that? And then, 6 cents, where do we go with 6 cents?
I don't like any of it, first of all.
I understand, yeah, I know.
Because right here, the rest, neither here nor there. I don't mind either or. I just like 45, 50, and 6 cents. Because we're jumping up. 54%? Is that what you, did you do the math with these numbers, 550 and 790 to get it down?
Well, if you look at 500, 800, you can see. You know,
Right.
that,
So,
It's about 35% increase.
well, $250 is half, is 50% of 500. So, this would be 4%.
550.
Any additional comments?
No.
Anybody?
I have none. Do you have any, Jeff?
Rob? Maybe. You can work that up then and see where we're at, and we'll have further discussion on this as it comes to conflict of interest.
Thank you, folks. Good day.
Brad, make it.
Okay, thanks.
You want to call Paul in right now?
Scott's working on it. Yeah, is that appropriate for me to call him? Yeah, fine.
Get all set out.
Got my phone?
Yes, I'll do
You call
that.
me for some reason, so I got to call him. Yeah, I want you to take care of Brad.
Yeah, I'll let him know that, yeah, follow up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Be great. Thank you.
Very simple, because
You ready?
See you, thank you. As far as this, just real quick, as far as this building permit application, if we want to add that, clarification, I mean, that's something we could do right away. Is that something that you have at your office? Yeah. Or, I just want to make sure, I tell Cindy to do something, it should be over. Okay.
We have those forms too, so.
Yeah, we want to make sure we have the,
What you want, where, I'll take care of that.
okay. Let me make a copy of this and bring it down to you. And, we want to make sure that we have this little checklist at the bottom that we've added here lately where, you know, we need to help garbage driveway and that type of stuff. So make sure you have the current form. Okay. I'll send a copy to Kim and to you.
I think you forgot to sign one of those, I think. I think it was the one.
I did?
One in the back.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, this is.
All right.
Oh, it's the third one, Chris.
Okay. We're at agreements and contracts. Entertain a motion to note receipt of an executed agreement, reference first and second half tax settlement agreement with Appraisal Research Corp., $6,000.
Move to note receipt of the executed agreement.
Second that.
Discussion. Time, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Travel request. Entertain a motion to note receipt and approve the following travel request. Resolution 195, Jody Betcher, Task, has requested permission to attend the Ohio Task Association meeting on March 8, 2017 at a cost not to exceed $103.40. Resolution 196, Kelly Altum, CSEA, has requested permission to attend the Paternity and Support Training June 13th and 14th, 2017, Dayton, Ohio, at a cost not to exceed $20. Resolution 197, Kelly Altum, CSEA, has requested permission to attend the CASH Medical Training May 16th and 17th in Dayton, Ohio, not to exceed $20. Resolution 198, Lori Puckett, Sandra Green, Jeannie Kaltenbach, Regina Hapner, Becky Sorrell, Shelley Metz, JFS, have requested permission to attend the CrossFit Personal Seminar, April 5th, 2017 in Marysville, Ohio, at a cost not to exceed $360. Resolution 199, David Anderson, EMA, has requested permission to attend the State EMA Spring Directors Conference in Columbus, Ohio, April 17th through the 19th, 2017, at a cost not to exceed $231.
$231.
Yes.
Move to approve resolutions 195 through 199.
Second?
Further discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Connie, do you have any additional items?
I do have a letter to the Preble County Budget Commission. As you know, in, I believe it's the first week of July, we are usually required to conduct our FY18 tax budget hearings. Okay, now we haven't done that for years. It's everyone's wish list, and it's a lot of unnecessary work. So we need to write the Budget Commission to ask them to waive the tax budget requirements. So I have a letter prepared to the Budget Commission. The Board of Preble County Commissioners is requesting that the Preble County Budget Commission consider waiving the requirement of adoption of the tax budget for Preble County for 2018 as permitted per ORC 5705.281. I have that for your consideration.
I would entertain a motion to approve that based upon making a lot of fiscal officers really happy, because basically what this boils down to is this is their first guess at next year's budget.
Oh.
And they, I mean, it.
You should see.
And we do this, this is the way it's been all
Yes.
along.
Oh, I don't.
Mr. Lindley, how are you?
All right.
You sneaking out?
Apparently.
I don't believe this school. The last time I did this probably was in 2000 and might have been the end of the 90s. Yes. It was such a waste of a lot of time and resulted in nothing.
Okay. So I will move to note receipt and approve by signing this letter to ask to waive the, that 2018 budget guess.
I'll second.
Further discussion? I just know that, having been involved in that for years, that I don't understand the reason it's there, because we're not a quarter into the year yet, and we're already trying to guess where we're going to be at the end of the year. I mean, and it's quite lengthy, the information they want. So, Connie, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes.
Next, I have a letter to payroll clerk regarding promotion effective March 6, 2017. Ashley Cravens successfully completed her 180-day probationary period in the full-time SLSA non-exempt classified position of Unit Support Worker 1 for Preble County Job and Family Services. At this time, Ms. Cravens will be promoted to a full-time FLSA non-exempt classified position of social service worker 2 for Preble County Job and Family Services. Ms. Craven's rate of pay will be adjusted from $10.55 per hour to $14.99 per hour and shall serve a 180-day probationary period in her new position.
We need to receive the letter.
Approved by signing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes?
Commissioner Day.
Yes.
We did receive, like I said last week, a letter from Lockingham Water Authority asking to meet with us regarding the leachate operation.
Okay.
Attached you will find our agreement dated January 25th, 2010. And I asked David Wilson if he could provide to me the fiscal information on what we've spent thus far, plus gallons. I will make contact with Lockingham this week to set up that meeting, but if you would like to review what I've passed out and keep it close by, I will get that in the day.
Okay.
And then, did you want to meet with Bob and David before we meet with Lockingham?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to make that.
Yeah, I think we need to,
We need to have a heads up what's going on.
Right. Now, what I just recently passed out was a memo or an email from Steve Unger. He received some correspondence from Corsa on our liability, wanting to know, or Corsa's wanting to know if we want to increase our liability limits from 10 to 11 million. And as you can see, the cost of doing that.
It's $572.
Yeah.
I thought we did this last week.
Well, why they keep asking.
Is it a yearly thing, maybe? Because it's over 10 million?
Exactly what we did last year. I don't know why I'm getting this again.
Yeah, I thought we did this last year, but, I mean,
We didn't go from 9 to 10 last year. I thought we went from 10 to 11 last year.
Well, maybe because it's 10 million, and you have to do it, maybe actually actively do it every year to be aware. Oh, who knows?
But I'm assuming we're receptive in doing this.
$500, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Now, Friday was the deadline to submit any CDBG projects for the infrastructure application. We received 2. One did not follow the guidelines, which email was sent. So we had a second applicant, which was College Corner for sidewalks and curbs. I thought maybe I'm not certain you were CC'd in on this.
We were. Well, I was.
Copy, maybe.
Yep.
We just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay? So I have an ad here. It's notice of public hearing number 2, Community Development Block Grant Funds. It also lists that critical infrastructure program that was submitted for College Corner. So we need to note receipt and approve a legal ad at the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Hi, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes.
We are currently working on an application to the Ohio Historical Society to get the Preble County Courthouse placed on the National Register. You know, we have our plaque out here for the courthouse, which was under another historical, as a historical marker. But what we need to do is place the courthouse on the National Register of Historic Places. So there's quite a bit of paperwork we need to get together in order to accomplish that, and then there'll be a plaque, I believe, placed on the front of this building.
Yes.
And I'm hopeful to have this done for our celebration next year.
It's probably the same plaque we got across the street over there last year, 2 years ago.
Well, I think theirs, I'll have to look at it closer, but I think theirs is like ours out here.
Oh, it is?
It's just a marker. This is actually placing this building, and by having that designation, will open some doors for us to get grant money to fix the courthouse for grants. So.
But it also
Mm-hmm.
will give you some restrictions on guidelines that you have to comply with.
There's some windows to use.
Yep.
That's true.
But, I mean, it's not a bad thing if you want to keep the building intact
Yeah.
to look like it did originally. But just, that's the disclaimer on that.
True. Okay, Bob Cohen sent me an email. Change order for putting plywood on maintenance area wall. ARPON is estimating that to install and hang 5/8" plugged and sanded plywood rather than the 5/8" in drywall, the cost would be $5,715. So the board would like for us to pursue this and get a formal change proposal.
But we gotta take the cost of the drywall off, right? Wouldn't it be the difference?
What would be the difference? We're not putting drywall up.
So what was the drywall going to cost?
I don't have that here in front of me.
Yeah, I don't know, but
We wouldn't be putting plywood over drywall.
No, my point is, we were going to pay for painted plywood, or painted drywall.
For finished
So
drywall.
wouldn't we, and I don't know how change orders work, but we're going to pay to put up in full the drywall, and then they're going to deduct the drywall off? Okay.
And-
That's what I'm saying.
But a good question is, Rodney had, is how much is that?
What was the drywall, I guess? What's the change order? How much are we paying an extra
Right.
for plywood versus drywall? So,
what should be the,
The $5,750.
right, that should be the difference, the additional,
So drywall,
And where are we putting this? In
the
the,
maintenance area.
so between the building and the office?
Maintenance.
Okay, which makes sense.
we're still putting drywall up. If it's $5,000 difference, I'd put the drywall up and put a row of plywood down at the bottom. And it'd probably be a small fraction of that. If it's $5,000 in addition to what the drywall was going to cost us painted.
I'm assuming that's usually the way a change order works, is that you're paying for the additional to switch to.
That's why I was asking.
Right, and we need to know that.
That's typically the way a change order works, is you're asking for something above and beyond, here's the additional amount it would be.
I guess I'm just, typically you put plywood down the bottom to protect the wall, and would it be better just to stick with the drywall and just put plywood up down the road? A sheet of plywood's nothing, we could just put up a sheet of plywood down along the bottom to protect it. I don't know, I'm just asking. That's a big change order
For plywood,
for plywood.
yeah.
Because technically, drywall costs would come out. I mean, what would it be if they didn't take the drywall off? That's expensive. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Plywood does no good 25 feet up. You're not protecting anything.
Well, I'm wondering if it may, because I thought maybe sound barrier, but
Those walls will be insulated.
still.
Okay, well, I'm hoping we get Bob and David
I'm
on
just-
Wednesday.
yeah.
So we'll discuss that then. I'll
Okay.
also make a phone call to Bob. I'm also waiting on I haven't seen the door change order
Right.
either, so I think that's the only other one I'm watching for.
Right.
Okay.
That to me has a purpose, though. A door has a purpose.
Well, right.
Plywood just has no purpose up
Right,
there.
I know. That was just me thinking.
Yeah, I know,
Still
no,
waiting on this other.
yeah. It's just my input.
Now, you know, this Friday we have, well, if you're interested, we have Brian Butcher coming in from 1 to 3 to discuss FMLA, ADA, sick leave, a variety of things.
From 1 to 3, you said?
That's 1 to 3,
What day is that?
Friday.
This Friday?
This Friday, March 10th.
We got our legislative luncheon. I just found out. Isn't that this Friday?
Yeah.
At Vondar's.
Yeah. It's for the Farm Bureau.
Literally, I just got the invite like Friday
Really?
in the mail.
What
Yeah.
time?
Maybe
I had
that's
a 1
on
week's
my
notice.
kitchen table.
I had one. Yeah, they gave us 1 week notice.
So what time?
From at noon, it's a lunch.
Noon. I
Because I
better
know
be noon to.
we're also invited out to JFS from 8:30 to 11 for Brian Butcher's presentation as well,
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah.
for her leadership.
8:30 to 11.
Oh. Yeah, I can't make either one of those.
So it'd be out there at 8:30. I might be able to make that. I've got another commitment, but I think I'm not going to go to that.
Because I thought we were gonna, I was interested in going to the leadership.
Yeah, I want to go out and see what they're,
Well, then if y'all go, fill me in when you
8:30
get back.
to
Yeah, I'll RSVP for the 3 of us then.
Yeah, I can't go.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as
And that's okay.
Afternoon.
You know, the other one is mainly for, I'm hopeful that those people, well, anybody really, but I seem to be having a lot of people, a lot of FMLA applications from the auditor's office, sheriff's office, JFS. And those people are all, they're going to be attending on Friday. So
I think with what some of the issues we've dealt with recently, we've got to get everybody on the same page because it's not being handled across the board. And then, what time is that luncheon?
Noon.
Really?
Yep. Noon to 1:30.
I literally just got an invite Friday.
And I got mine one day last week. Well, it seems like it was
It's Farm Bureau, I think.
Oh,
Farm Bureau. Yeah. It seems like I got mine like early last week.
I don't know.
Because I had it on the calendar.
I don't know. I just RSVP'd Friday because, I know I got it Friday.
Well, let's see when I
It's laying on my
RSVP'd.
table and I haven't opened it, so it just came.
And with what I'm passing out now, this was one of the individuals.
I must have gotten it Friday too. I called and RSVP'd on Friday.
This is one of the individuals that we had discussed earlier in the year that was due to medical issues, ran out of time and then went on to her husband's and then announced back onto the counties here.
Oh, okay. So does she have to wait for open enrollment then? She can just come right back?
I think so.
Okay.
From our tour, rental property on Campbell Road, and then Buffy sent me some pictures from the wind of the barn, and I only have one set of pictures there that Chris has. I had wrote down what we discussed with the tenants. I just wanted to discuss it with the board to see, and the lane is being, once we get the crushed, the landfill's getting some stone crushed. Once they get that accomplished, which is in the next week or two, then David will be taking some of the crushed stone over to the lane to fix the lane and to roll the lane.
Oh, good.
So that should help all those potholes.
Mm.
But, other than the bank barn, and also looking at what the garage looks like, the drywall and the roof that's fallen in, I haven't seen any pictures of that. I think item 1 through 6, we can look at, just want to make sure it's okay to proceed with those repairs.
Get it done.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And then we'll decide somewhere down the road here what we're doing with that bank barn.
Bank barn. It's just a regular barn,
Is it?
not a bank barn.
Yeah, it's not a bank barn.
Okay, well,
Just a plain old barn.
Just a barn.
Barn, we mark through bank.
It's not on the bank.
Okay.
I guess eventually if we keep digging around it.
Right. It could be its own island.
Okay.
Let's see. I wanted to pass out also this information from the State Fire Marshal's office on who was awarded Mark's grants. And you need to look real quick at Preble County. I think we came out pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think we should have some happy campers here.
I wonder how the amount was determined.
Wow.
Because Northwest got the same amount as Eaton. You would think that a city with a high population would have a higher amount than a township with a lower population of $7 million.
Did this come in email?
Yes.
Should have thrown it in a spreadsheet real quick and added up for Chris.
Be done here in a second.
Well, I'm going to write it down so you're not wasting your time.
You know me, I like to know what the numbers are.
I'm with you.
Now, is this, what's the time frame on this? This is per year? Or just
This is a
one-time?
This is a one-time.
One-time lump sum, so...
What you got?
$320,938.
Wow.
How much?
$320,938.
You added it up twice.
He only added it once. I wrote in pencil. I'll go back and throw it in a spreadsheet.
I just know when I use calculator, it never says the same thing.
Dark County was very ambitious as well as Wood County.
Wood County got some,
But
yeah.
boy, Dark really got a lot of,
Yeah, they did.
wow.
They've not even switched at all, have they? That's great.
I guess my biggest question is, this is all well and good to buy the equipment, but are these
Monthly fees.
in year two? Are these because year one the monthly fees can be rolled into this, but in year two, can the departments afford to operate this? And if they can, I mean, I hope they can, but
$10 per month for radio?
Yep.
But if you take 20 radios,
Yep, that's
$400.
for the small.
and it looks like Camden, Eaton, Gasper, El Radio. Looks like all the fire departments received it.
Casper, El Dorado. West Man.
West Manor, not. El Dorado's on there.
West Man and El Dorado, I heard, try and work.
They're going to try to work something out, but they're still separate right now. I think he said all but one. When David was in here, I think he said all but one put in for it.
Well, that'd be great. Like I said,
I
I
don't
just
see West Elkton on there.
Nope, I don't either.
West Elkton and
West Elkton and West Manchester. So you can look at two missing. That's great.
okay.
Okay. Here's a copy of your State House report, which talks about your Medicaid managed care sales tax law. That's one of the items in this that tells you, county, county has passed.
She needs to stop throwing paper at us.
I can't keep up.
Well, I get this stuff and it's like, I'm sort of going to copy for you.
Well, I've got Chris throwing papers at me. I got you throwing papers at me.
Anyway,
All right.
27 counties have passed resolutions urging their state legislators to protect counties from negative effects of the Medicaid managed care sales tax. And then they have a checklist here. County officials should hold a meeting with all county elected office holders. We've sent all of our correspondence to them whenever we've done something.
Right.
And then also meet with organizations who partner with county like OSU Extension or Soil and Water Districts. So, I'm not certain if when you had your meeting with Soil and Water, if you mentioned this.
They did.
They did?
They had just gotten it the week before.
Okay.
And I think they were a little unhappy given what they were wanting us to discuss.
Okay.
Well, and I bet it's still back on my desk. I brought in that page. Didn't I share that with you? Did I show you that page of what their formula plan to reimburse us back on a one-time deal? Did I share that with you?
I haven't seen that.
I've got it somewhere.
And I don't know, I don't think I've shared anything with the extension office. No, I sent them the same thing I sent Soil and Water, so yes, they received information. Also in this state House report is, certified mail reform passes the House. I hope that passes, where local governments, which would give state, county, and local governments alternative to sending documents via certified mail, a practice that costs these organizations significantly more money than utilizing traditional mail.
Right.
That will be huge for the clerk of courts and all these court systems, and us as well, but more me than them, who have spent just outrageous amounts of money.
Well, Brenda said she's sent 100 cases for foreclosure down to Katy.
Really? 100?
Yes, that they backlogged 100. And that $30,000 that
I saw it encumbered.
she said that may get a third of those cases for her publications and stuff. Ridiculous.
And then if you go back further on page 4, the new prevailing wage proposal. This is a good one too.
Oh, good.
Hopefully, boy. Oh, you're shaking your head. Well,
Yeah.
I really hope that would go through.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would be just absolutely fantastic.
The problem is,
What are they asking for?
Well, that we wouldn't have to pay prevailing wage.
Oh, we wouldn't have to pay it at all. Okay.
they want it to be on a case-by-case basis for the counties.
Oh, on a case-by-case basis?
It's going to be a no-win situation.
Oh, that won't work.
Every case would be the same with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who in the world mentioned case-by-case?
That's
Prevailing wage is the dumbest thing I've seen. I'm paying my same guys to go do prevailing wage jobs. They have the same equipment and the same skill set. And prevailing wage is a joke in my opinion.
Well, and
It's the same people, same equipment, same company, and they're making a lot more because it's government. That's wrong.
right, because that's your taxpayers. That's your neighbors.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that they would at least raise the limit, but eliminating it altogether is fantastic.
But in your meetings, you've heard it's a case-by-case basis?
yeah, and it basically, the downside to that is, here's the problem you've got. You've got the big counties, Cuyahoga,
Right.
Delaware, Lucas County. That's on page 4.
Well, I'm reading it.
It's right, look at the line right over Senator Hutton's higher wages on a case-by-case.
Oh, case-by-case.
The problem you've got is those counties with the big union influence,
Yeah.
and that's going to spill over into us.
Oh, yeah.
And
So if we're looking at building something, we'll have a room full of people who think we should be paying prevailing wage.
yeah, so
And so then it'd be us saying, no.
I can tell you right now that I don't disagree with you guys. I'm just being very honest. I think it's dead on the vine until they can work some of this stuff out. Because I can tell you that in the meeting we were discussing that, the bigger counties were very adamant that they couldn't deal with this on a case by case. And I understand why, the pressure they would get. Can you imagine?
No, it would be a lot of pressure.
Can you imagine going into a meeting in Cuyahoga County and telling them you're not going to use the union?
Yeah.
Put it this way, it wouldn't be friendly. So I think I like the concept, but I'm just,
Well, this needs to start federally and trickle down to the state, not start at the local and move up.
well,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you where it's at, being very honest, because, you know, the small counties, everybody's sitting there going, boy, this would be great, you know, we can do this and that, but we deal with 1 or 2 projects every 10 years, and
They're dealing with a lot.
they're dealing with projects, and we haven't had a room full of union people in here. So don't get me wrong, I totally agree something needs to happen, but I think this is the first starting point.
Well, then,
And I think they maybe need to be a little braver.
for the smaller counties, their levels need to be higher, you know, where.
What, the per project
Right,
cost? I think so too.
something.
They could start there.
They've talked about that. Argument is a project's a project.
Only do it,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, you think about our $1 million landfill project versus, you know,
I'm not disagreeing.
in our little
We
county,
could have done it for half.
we could have done for a lot less without prevailing wage.
But I'm just saying, those are the arguments that, because we had it, unfortunately, we spent way too much time on this item when we were going through this, because there was some really strong opinions.
Oh, I
Like I
bet.
said, the bigger counties are like, while it would be great, it'll never happen in our county on a case-by-case basis. And they've got no guidelines, no criteria set out, so this is their first attempt to stick it on the wall.
Okay, 4 days.
Well,
Jeannie Krause was in, was wanting me to share this with you on seeing if you'd be interested in attending this. Demon Friday.
Oh, yeah. I've been wanting to hear that J.D. Vance guy.
we did this a year ago, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the one we went to?
He did something a year ago with this. He's been involved with Pink Regional for some time.
This is the one we went down by the Austin Landing.
Oh, when Rodney went?
Yeah, I don't know if Denise went.
I don't think Denise went.
What was it?
Some city people went?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was down at that,
Yeah,
Oh.
Brenda was there. Brenda
Brenda went
Martinez was
too,
there.
yes.
it was at that hotel.
Oh,
Friday,
yeah.
April 28th. This is the place where my son's getting married.
I'm sure gonna plan on going. Do we
Center,
need to,
down on Mulhauser Road.
do we need to?
Center Park. It's a very nice place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
I've
think
been there, yeah.
it'd be interesting to go.
Where's this at?
Yeah, we went down there for another, we actually at this,
So it's a different place this year?
we were there for another event several years ago.
I can just remember, I can only remember the one with you and Rodney going, a couple of the city people
Right.
going, and Brenda went.
Well, I've been to this banquet center.
Yeah, I still have the address in my phone. Because we were there for a bridal show 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, that's crazy. Bridezilla's everywhere.
8 to 3. Okay.
I'll try to make it. Fridays are tough for me while school's in.
Do we need to respond that, or?
I will.
Go ahead and put me down
Is there a
for
cost?
yes.
I think there is. Let's see. $49 each.
$49.99.
Well, $59. Early bird before March 24th is $59. If individual registration is usually $69.
3 or more from the same business, 59.
So $59. So RSVP for everyone and a travel?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. This is where that former heroin addict
Mm-hmm.
that is working at GN Engineer at GE now.
Yeah.
He's a heroin addict? A farmer?
Covered.
Got himself.
Wow,
Got a
cool.
degree.
Okay.
Huh.
Now, from our meeting on what, last Wednesday? On land banks. What information should I be gathering or?
Was that last
A
Wednesday?
date? Yes, a date was that last Wednesday or was it the Wednesday before?
I don't remember.
Anyways, might have been the Wednesday before. Anyways, you know, of course, the June 5th date was thrown out there. So, time flies, so I thought I'd ask the board, what information should I be gathering? Should I be
Where's the money gonna come
on
from?
on this subject? What should I be doing?
Since the street tax not available, how are we gonna fund
And
it?
I think the board's in agreement that we're not gonna,
Well, on the record, I will state that DRETAC is not an option in my mind. We don't have enough DRETAC,
Right.
and it's being used already.
correct.
I know I've talked with our local elected officials that were concerned about that. My question now, and what I'm researching is, can we put certain stipulations on how this program's ran once we hand this off, because it goes to a separate board, which commissioners are a part of. I don't know if I shared with everyone or anyone, but Springfield, Clark County, was in the news last week on their land bank, where they've acquired several of these foreclosed homes and don't have the money to tear it down, and now the residents they're standing there banging their spears on the ground because they want something done, which rightly so. But the bottom line, they interviewed, and I can't remember the young man's name, but he was the director of the land bank, and he said, we're trying to acquire monies to tear these down. We understand the residents' concern, but they also have to understand what little monies we pull down only gets 3 or 4 houses a year done. So I don't want to get, if we go down this path, I don't want to acquire a bunch of properties that we can't do anything with, and we're in their boat.
Where are we on liability?
Well,
We're liable.
we would have to insure them.
Yeah, I mean,
So there's a cost.
Now, the residents that they interviewed, and this is just what was on TV, the plans were, because there were still some nice houses, but some of these houses have been vacant for years. If they can get them torn down, they were going to either buy or gift them to the residents, and the one gentleman, older gentleman, said, I'm going to put a garden out there, which would be great, but that all comes at a cost.
it'd be a very expensive garden.
Okay, so do some land banks tear down the properties and then sell properties, and then the money goes back into the land banks, and then they build it its way up to do things down the road?
That's the theory behind them, but in instances where they're in areas where it's spotted blight,
Yes.
where there's not a big demand for rebuilding in those areas, they typically either sell them at a very low cost to the residents or gift them to them.
Okay.
And I mean, that's the ones that I've seen that in those type of situations. Belmont County's got one, Montgomery County's doing that. You know, if pick a spot here in Eaton and there's a blighted house and there's still nice houses there, and the odds of buying that or repurposing that lot for somebody to build a new house are probably slim to none, unless it's in an area that's in demand. That's what I've found out so far in doing my research on it.
And I haven't done my homework yet on that, so.
My question is, can we put stipulations on it that it has to meet certain criteria, certain expectations?
I would think we could make the rules anything we wanted to make them.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I
Well, I
haven't
think I'm just gonna go out and get some,
Well, and I think we need to think too, not that I'm trying to but future commissioners may have different ideas than we do. And when I say that, I'm talking about people that have interests in these kind of properties. Those people can run for commissioner, and I'm just saying anybody that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's, you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, I'm just saying that there, and I'll say it because I'll say it to Mary's face. I've already asked her. I mean, there's something going on here with the HIT Foundation, and I love the HIT Foundation and what they do. We got to be careful going down this road because there's got to be something that I'm missing. And I'll
There's,
talk
well,
to Mary
and
about
that's,
it.
that was my
being
thing.
honest.
No, but that was my thing
I'm
when
just
she was
being
in
honest.
when she was in here. That's my thing. You know, I don't want to hear rainbows and unicorns. I want to hear reality and what when the rubber hits the road, how this really works, how it really costs taxpayers. I want to know both sides of it.
Yeah.
I want to know good and bad.
There's got to be some kind of influence. There could be some possible influence in the future. If us three, and I'm not saying I am all for tearing down blight, and I'm all for,
right.
But if the wrong people get in these seats and the wrong influence is applied, this could turn into a program that we don't want in this county.
Well,
And I'm just going into it guarded. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm with you.
I'm not going to beat around the bush and I'll say it to anybody's face. It is what it is.
Okay.
And
Well,
What's his name? Donnie Baker.
and that's what my question is, and what I'm trying to find out is, can there be stipulations put on these properties so that you don't get non-conforming uses in areas and things of that nature?
Yeah.
That's my concern.
Well, and I would think it would have to meet the zoning.
It would have to meet zoning.
That would be the minimum.
That's the minimum.
You can't.
But I think unfortunately there's still certain things concerns that I have that it may be zoned at this, and it might be higher. There might be a higher expectation in that area because these houses in this area may have been in place for the 50s.
Right.
Zoning was put in back when people did things differently. In today's world, they look at the letter of the law to get by with as least amount as they can.
Right.
Is my purpose.
Right. So
I'll be open-minded.
I still want to do my research, but I want to know from every angle. And I haven't done anything yet.
I honestly haven't done anything either.
I'll be honest. I was wanting to go to my next commission meeting. There's a couple commissioners that have these in their small counties. I was going to...
That's what I want to hear, is how it works in a small county, how it works in real life, not on paper.
There's two commissioners that sit on the CCO board that are like-sized counties, and I would just like to talk to them one-on-one and see how it's working for them.
That's the kind of input I'd like to
I'd love to see
have.
the blight cleaned up, but we just have to know what's the aftermath of the blight
And
being
the
cleaned
cost.
up.
Well, I look at it as I think it's a good tool to put in place to utilize with our Economic Development Office.
Right.
But I want to be able to frame that so that we aren't staging the groundwork for something that we don't want.
Right. Or it gets so big that we no longer have any kind of influence or control over it.
And one of those things is we can't acquire properties if we can't take them down. I mean, if we don't have the money to follow through, we shouldn't be in the property business.
Exactly.
We'll keep doing some research. If there's something out there you find, bring back to us.
That's all I have.
Rod?
I have nothing.
Denise?
Well, I attended the Eagle Scout ceremony yesterday without the two of you. Thanks for that heads up.
I had a basketball practice.
Hey, I was just there by myself going, where the heck are they? Where's the resolution? So I got up there and I said, well, I'm not the one that has the resolution. I said, but it was long and boring, therefore, we resolve. And then I, congratulated him. This young man has quite a story, was in foster care, and his parents, I guess he's adopted now. And
What's his last name?
Cavendish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was really, and of course I didn't know the story ahead of time, but it was a nice ceremony. They're all different. They all do it put their own little taste into it.
Yeah.
I had several people come up to me after. One lady wanted to know about disaster recovery, so I gave her Dave's name and number for that. But it was a good event. Connie had the idea that maybe we should bring this young man in and present him with the proclamation here in our office. Just, because mailing it's not quite so fun. But so it was a good event.
Yeah, I had it on my calendar, and my daughter lost yesterday, so I was stuck in Dayton for a basketball tournament.
See, but the worst part, one of the worst ones is when you hope they lose, so you can go home.
Yeah.
Can you just lose?
Well, it was a
so
double
we can go
elimination,
home?
so they had to lose twice. They did good.
Did they do good?
Yeah, they did lose both games.
Could have been worse.
Well,
So anyway.
I apologize. I apologize because I had it, but my daughter changed the birthday party to yesterday, so I had to be out in Toledo.
Yeah.
So
Well, I had no proclamation to read. I had no. It's like, okay, here we are.
it totally
Wait a
slipped my
minute.
mind.
It was fine. Mary from the mayor of Verona was there, so we sat together. She's nice. I liked her. I need to get up to that coffee shop.
She must go to all those. She was at the last one.
I think she tries to attend a lot of
Yeah.
things.
Coffee shop's amazing up there.
Oh, I've heard great things, so I can't wait. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to order a pizza, go up and visit my sister-in-law.
They're open for lunch on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Are they?
Go
I
visit.
need to go too.
Go
I'd like to
visit.
go up there often.
Well, maybe we need to go Thursday
I
or
would recommend
Friday.
going on a Saturday because the owners are there.
The owners are there Saturdays?
Well, typically. Tim Delp, he's good
And
dials.
what's the hours on Saturday?
They're open, don't quote me on this, but like 8 to 5. Thursday, or it's on the hours are on their website, but I think it's like 8 to 5.
Okay. One other thing I forgot to remind you, you are to eat dinner at Maple Gardens
Oh, yeah.
Rehab and Rest Home.
Where's that?
That's at the
That's-
old,
Oh, the new place? The
Yeah.
old place that's new?
Yes.
That's Wednesday, right?
Oh, place for
that's
the name?
Wednesday,
What,
Wednesday
What
at
happened?
5:15?
5:15.
Okay.
They'll have a variety of things for you to select from.
Oh, we're eating dinner there?
Yes.
Okay.
Be there at 5:15?
5:15 and, oh boy, what did I say that lady's name was? Anyways, she will be, when you first walk through the door, the main entrance, she'll be there at the, nurses station, right when you walk in, waiting on the 3 commissioners, and then she'll take you to the dining room, and they are just beside themselves. I mean, they are so excited.
That's so funny.
Oh, you should have heard. I had to hold my phone now. She just couldn't believe that all 3 of you were coming, and that,
That's nice.
yeah.
Well, they get excited. I just called, by the way, on Wednesday the 22nd, I'll be doing the Meals on Wheels from 10 to 1 or whatever, so I may have to leave. But they get excited when they hear that we're coming.
I think everybody gets excited
So.
when they hear that you're coming.
Well, and, yesterday,
Some like us and some don't.
they were very appreciative that a representative from the board was at that event yesterday. They liked that.
So, just remember, that's Friday night's lunch, dinner.
Good. I haven't been there since I sung Christmas carols probably 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Through church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the last time I was there. And it wasn't what was it, Heartland?
Heartland.
Has it always been Heartland?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's been Heartland ever since it opened.
Yeah.
So that's Wednesday.
And what are we doing? Just tell them what's going on?
Yeah.
So you'll probably just say, have
I
a
mean,
little
it's just
spiel.
what's going on in the community. You'll all chime in.
Oh, we're just going to have like a forum?
Yeah, we'll
I
have
mean, I
to.
don't think it's anything about any numbers. It's just what's going on. I think that's what they want to hear. It's not off your PowerPoint. I think it's a very laid back.
I don't think that crowd's going to be, while they're aware, I don't think that the devil's in the detail.
I think the numbers might bore them.
They are boring.
Okay.
Okay?
Anything else? I did have the CVB request for the use of the house over here. Connie and I went down and looked at it. Rod went down too, whatever day that was.
It was after our
Landfill.
inspections.
We came back and I said, can we go look at that? I don't have a problem with them using that. I mean, there's nothing in there. What's your guys' thoughts?
What do they need it for?
They're going to store their pamphlets there.
Really? They're going to use the whole house and store pamphlets?
Well, I think they're just wanting a room or someplace to set a table up, store their stuff to where if they need to put stuff together. They don't have any storage, is what I was told.
So is this a permanent thing?
I wish we was using it for more. That house
I do
is nice.
too.
It's in good shape, but
They've asked, they wanted someplace to put their stuff and be able to put a table in there. We went down and looked at it. It's empty. To be real honest, I just seen somebody be in there because some of the stuff that's in there now shouldn't be.
We got that moved too.
I mean, I don't have a problem with you using it as long as there's no, as long as we're covering on all ends.
Well, I don't mind them using it temporarily while they look for someplace else, because I mean, what if we want the building? What if we want to use it for something? We don't.
Just discontinue it.
Well, that's what I meant. I think that they should continue to look for something,
As long as we're not signing a contract saying we can tell them to get their stuff out at any time.
We're giving the CVB X amount of dollars, and we're the biggest funder of that organization as it is now.
Right.
And they're just looking for a place that they can have to put their stuff and have them, occasionally put stuff together, is my understanding, for the pork festival or the fair or whatever. And
So, I mean, are they going to set up an office? Like, are they going to put a sign out that says CVB is right here?
that was not my understanding.
I thought it was just storage.
So I just thought it was storage.
Okay, so I'm okay with something like that.
Temporary storage?
Temporary storage, the place to put those bag things that they give away together. I just don't want to give the impression that that is their permanent home of here's our CVB and now.
I don't think that's the case. I think that
Well, can we verify that?
we can have Stephanie in.
She's coming in, the dates haven't been good for her. I think she's coming in the 27th of this month.
Okay, all right. Because I don't mind because they need a place to set up, but I don't want that to be their permanent home.
I was approached by her and a couple others. I don't know where else to put them. I've checked across the street. At this point, there really is not enough room unless we kick extension out a part of their.
Well, we can't do that.
That north side of the building. So you say she's coming in?
Yeah, for her quarterly meeting.
Like I said, I don't have a problem with her using that as long as she understands that if we come up with a purpose, which I don't know what that would be at this time in life.
Right. Well, no, exactly. But I want it understood that if we decide that we need to use it.
Like I said, and I don't have a problem with them storing their stuff there or meeting there to do this stuff. I mean, I don't think they're looking to work out of this place. I think it's just having some place to land with their stuff. I don't know what they're doing with it now.
Okay, well, as long as that's the understanding, I'm fine with that. Because we may need that building for something, and I don't want them to be displaced and us have a misunderstanding. Well, you told us we could use this house, kind of thing.
Okay, I will let her know that she needs to address that when she comes in.
Yeah, that'll work.
No. Fairgrounds. I understand we had a tractor pull over the weekend, and
I heard it.
Something happened.
I got some pictures of somebody did a burnout on some new concrete. I drove down there this morning. I mean, it's a fairgrounds. I guess the biggest question on that is, I want to know how much the Ag Society makes on this event.
I don't know.
The numbers I were told was $3,000 or something like that.
Well,
The entire weekend.
I know one thing
I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I was told.
we need to find out, because all I've gotten so far is complaints on this organization. From them putting the dirt in the facility to them not taking care of the facility. And I get photos of this. If they're not making money on it, they don't still need to be there. That's my opinion.
Well, they said the inside of the guy I talked to is probably the same one you talked to. Said the inside of the building's starting to rust because they're putting that wet dirt in the inside of it.
That has to be addressed.
You better be making a lot of money if you're damaging a building from the inside out.
So, at some point, I'm going to reach out to Rodney Mann, or I will, if you guys want, and say, hey, we need some facts and figures on this,
Right.
because
Are they down there when this is going on since they don't have a manager?
I was going to go, but I had to leave town.
Well, I know, but I'm just wondering since they don't have a manager, is the fair board at the functions? I mean,
I don't
if
know.
something happens, I mean, who's the contact?
I have no idea. That's the other thing, is that if they're going to manage that with that facility, if that site's rented for something, somebody should be there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So,
Well, and I don't know anything about it, but they're charging X amount of dollars to get in, and there's X amount of people, and that's a pretty small profit margin on such a large event to go to see the damages that are occurring.
well, just food for thought. I wanted to bring it up because I did receive some text message and some pictures, and I went down this morning, and it's not that big a deal. It's concrete, little burnout, some scratches in the concrete. I understand someone that's got a new building and as part of that has ownership, and that does tick you off. But in the overall scheme of things, I've gotten multiple complaints over the last probably 2 months. So we need to get some things straightened out on that. Like Rod said, they put all this wet dirt in. I mean, it looked like a rainforest in there.
Wow.
Now, did the fence get pushed up against the building? Because I heard that. Is that true?
You can see where something was slid on the concrete. I'm assuming that fence was slid on the concrete.
Did it go into the building?
I did not see any place where it was damaged, but I did not get out and look at it. Food for thought, guys and gals. I just wanted to throw it out there in case somebody bends your ear on it.
Okay. Yeah, we need to, if you can talk to Rodney and then let us know what's going on and maybe have them in. Yeah, Fred scratched our concrete like 2 weeks after we put the concrete in. It broke my heart. Like, that was fresh, brand new, and so nice.
It's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. But it really does when you get something new. You want, people take ownership. They want it nice. It's just very unfortunate that things like this happen, and the tractor pull has been a event of contention ever since I've been here. Let's put it that way.
Inside the building. Not on the track,
Right.
but inside the building,
Right.
right.
So,
Well, I think the thing is, what you have to look at is if you're going to have an event like that, you've got to make enough to cover things that are going to happen. I mean,
Right.
you can say, oh, we're making $3,000. Well, are you really? Because if you're destroying the building from the inside out at the end of 10 years, if we have to spend $50,000 on that building, you just lost 20 grand.
Right.
People don't think about the hidden cost of, you're really not making a dime.
Okay, so we'll talk about this further after Chris talks to Rodney.
We'll find out
Yeah, you want to take care of
who's watching, who's
who's down there?
person at all these functions.
I honestly don't know.
That's kind of,
Then hopefully he'll have an answer for that, because there
Because
should
the
be.
same people What had something to do that they shut the fans off. Somebody shut the fans off. Who did that? But that's an issue.
they shut the fans off or wired it shut or something because they didn't want to lose the heat. That is not there. They should not even touch that.
who in the world?
That's where we need to have a conversation with the Ag Society. Their manager or their Fair Board president or their designee should be the ones down there running the switches.
You mean somebody that was involved in the function did that?
I don't think we know who did
Or
it.
somebody out in the audience?
I can tell you this, fortunately for us, and I'm sure he won't care, But when Mr. Buckley was down there working on the rabbit barn, he brought it to my attention. He's the one that took his time and went over and couldn't figure out why the louvers weren't opening.
Right.
He had a man lift there. He went up, unwired it so that the ventilation could start working in there. He was not a happy camper, and I don't mean to throw John under the bus, but he was. I'm sure if he was here today, he would
No, he would say.
not have a problem.
Right.
You know, he's got ownership in that facility. He fixed the roof for nothing. He loves the fairgrounds, and he was very unhappy about the way it was being taken care of. So we need to address it.
Right. Okay.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes.